Recently, Jon Stewart did one of his monologues where he wraps jokes around half political truths and outright lies with no context to make people who are far left feel like they're smarter than they really are. This one was about debunking the GOP's city crime narrative, and of course he dove into the topic of guns. And of course it was exactly what I described above, and now I'm here to debunk it so you can share it with your far left friends so they can realize that Jon and his writers have no idea what they're talking about. Pay attention, because this is gonna go kind of fast.
First of all, I'm surprised Trump is scared of guns at all, considering he thinks they sound like this.
We had our beautiful Marine standing there, bing, 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 bing. You know, in the old days, bing, bong.
Bing, bong, bing, bong, bing, bing, bing. I would pay good money to hear Trump describe the opening scene of Saving Private Ryan. Bing, 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 and then the Nazis, bang, bang. Bang, bang. Nobody can get bread. Bang, 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 bing, bing.
I mean, if you're gonna get technical here, that's pretty much how it sounds when a bullet hits a still target. Just saying.
But the point is, if you leave your house in New York, you will be shot dead. To all of our audience members, I'm glad you chose to have your last moments with us. And I say this with all due respect. The balls of these right-wing motherfuckers talking about how there's too much gun crime and chaos in our democratic cities, when Republicans are the ones who've enabled the flood of illegal weaponry into our cities in the first place.
Jon, the Republicans aren't saying there's too much gun violence in liberal cities because of guns. They're saying there's too much gun violence in liberal cities because liberal-run cities are notoriously lax on crime. That's why the top 5 cities for gun violence, St. Louis, Birmingham, Portsmouth, and Detroit, and Memphis, are all Democrat-led cities. And of the largest Republican-led cities, Jacksonville, Fort Worth, Oklahoma, Tulsa, and Omaha, not one of these Republican-led cities even make the list for even top 10 for gun violence. And all of these cities are in states that are gun-friendly, and 2 of these cities are in states that rank first and second for having the most gun sales in 2020. So clearly the issue isn't the guns in the city, it's the politicians and their failed policies in these cities. Nice try.
You want to know? 93% of the illegal guns used in crimes in New York City aren't from here. They, like theater majors, have come here to make a name for themselves. The guns come from states like Florida and Georgia and South Carolina, where the gun laws are lax. And trust me, Florida's not sending us their best guns. They're bringing guns for drugs and crime and rapists, and some, I assume, are good guns.
All this proves is that gun control laws don't stop criminals from getting guns. New York makes it incredibly hard to get a gun legally, so criminals go and buy them illegally. This is like how you all say citizens don't stop mass shootings that often. Well, duh, mass shootings don't happen often, but they often happen in gun-free zones where citizens aren't allowed to carry guns, which is why you don't get a whole bunch of citizens stopping mass shootings. If you make it impossible to buy a gun legally by not having very many places to buy a gun legally, then the guns that are in the state are going to come from outside of the state, where they allow people to exercise their Second Amendment rights. You're literally arguing to ban guns or restrict them to such a degree that they might as well be banned in the first place.
We might, to put up some border controls to stem this invasion, this flood of literally undocumented weapons, Republicans fight every attempt to bring some kind of order and even pass laws to increase the chaos. Look at all the laws and things that they've done. In 2005, they passed a law that effectively protects gun dealers and the gun manufacturers from being held liable for where their guns end up.
Oh, for crying out loud. I've done this 1,000 times and I have to do it again. The Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act is a law that says you can't sue a gun company simply because someone used that gun company in a crime. That's it. You can still sue gun companies. You just can't sue them for what someone else did with their gun. no more than you can sue a car manufacturer for drunk driving accidents. Jeez.
They also try and make sure that terrorists and felons can still get guns.
After the Orlando nightclub shooting, there was an attempt to pass a bill to stop anyone on the secret FBI terror watch list from buying a gun, even if they had no real connection to terrorism. The problem is that people can be put on this list without any charges or convictions, and being on it doesn't mean that you're guilty. Denying Second Amendment rights based on such an arbitrary list violates due process. These lists often include innocent people like children and members of Congress with no clear way to get them off. This sets a dangerous precedent that could erode civil liberties further, which is why Republicans opposed it.
And just recently, they made sure that they can turn those guns into machine guns with bump stocks.
Actually, it was the Supreme Court that did this, and for years, the ATF held that semi-automatic rifles with bump stocks were not machine guns. However, after the Las Vegas shooting, where a gunman used bump stocks to fire hundreds of rounds, killing 58 and injuring 500, the ATF decided to change their mind. They proposed a new rule to classify bump stocks as machine guns. While bump stocks allow faster firing by using recoil to reset the trigger, they don't turn an AR-15 into a true machine gun. This shift was simply a response to public pressure following the shooting in Las Vegas. It does not turn a gun into a machine gun. It just doesn't.
They make it impossible to study the effects of guns.
The purpose of the Dickey Amendment to H.R. 3610 was to prevent federal funds from being used to promote gun control under the guise of public health research. In 1993, Dr. Mark Rosenberg of the Services Centers for Disease Control, the CDC, said that the Clinton administration wanted to reframe the debate about gun control to portray guns as a public health menace. In 1996, Congress prohibited the CDC from using taxpayer funds to underwrite research advocating gun control. This didn't make it impossible to study the effects of gun violence. There were tons of studies being done on the effects of gun violence. Y'all just wanted to use the authority of the government to push gun control through studies. And they said no.
They make it impossible to track the illegal guns.
Wait, what? Does he not realize the Firearm Owners Protection Act is the reason why machine guns are virtually impossible to own now? But what he's really crying about is the fact that the Firearm Owners Protection Act prohibited the creation of a national gun registry, which we all know inevitably is used to confiscate guns. That's the only reason why you want to know where all the guns are so you can go and confiscate them. And that's why he went over it so fast as well, because he didn't want to point out the fact that basically that act banned machine guns. It also allowed interstate sales of long guns and protected gun owners traveling across state lines, ensuring their firearms were legal at both the start and end of their journey. It limited the ATF's power to conduct warrantless inspections of gun dealers as well. They essentially compromised machine guns to give other rights to gun owners, and he's still complaining. Granted, I don't agree with the compromise, but it goes to show they don't actually want to compromise. They just want it all. Now, anytime I wear this shirt right here that I'm wearing, this is the Keep America Tactical Texas shirt, I always get asked the question, does that shirt come in all the states? Well, yeah, it does come in all the states. It's right here. See, there's one here in Georgia, but it comes in every single state in the US because the goal is to let them know that we want to keep America tactical. So I'm going to put a link in the description section of this video where you can not only get shirts like this, you can get them in different colors. You can also get hats, you can get drinkware, and all the other kind of beautiful types of merch that is on shop.mrcolionnoir.com. So click that link in the description section of the video and, get you a Keep America Tactical shirt. One thing's for certain and two things are for sure. Politicians and tech giants don't want gun content to be recommended to you, and we're all fighting this culture war together. Now, you can help do your part by liking, commenting, subscribing to the channel, but most importantly, sharing this video with at least one person. Together we can stop the suppression of our 2A rights. And don't forget to click the link in the description section of this video for the products that I mentioned in this video.